Good evening. Good evening. Man, I need to go to bed. Good morning. I'm George Herbig, Chief Forecaster, here with Weather Now Kentucky. But we have an update for you regarding the active winter storm that's going throughout portions of Kentucky right now. Um, we'll go over certain traffic cameras. We'll go over our latest forecast. If you missed what we posted last night, maybe you went to bed a little early and didn't see our latest forecast, we'll go ahead and show you that. Of course, make sure you're saying hello as you come in. Let me know what you're seeing, where you're at, all that good jazz, as well as sharing the broadcast both on Facebook and YouTube. Again, the biggest way you can support us and being the biggest fan there is sharing the broadcast, whether you're on YouTube or Facebook. So we'd appreciate that. Thank you very much. We're going to go over the latest model data. Don't pay attention to the messy work bed behind me. It's definitely gotten some time in last not only last couple of hours, but last few days really. Feels like we've been stuck back here just getting stuff done. So a little bit messy back there. I don't mind that, but anyway, that's just the mark of the work we put in there. Again, if you're just now hopping on the broadcast here with us, we're live on both Facebook and YouTube this morning, covering the winter storm that's ongoing throughout the state. I feel like a broken record at this point, but we've had a few of these this season, and I don't think we're done yet. Just a little teaser, I guess, if you will, for the future. I don't think we're done. I really don't. I don't think this is the last bit of winter that we see. So I know there's been a lot of people that are asking, hey, is there more down the road? You know, we'll cross that bridge when it comes, but the quick answer right now is this does not look to be our last system in Kentucky for the wintertime. So we'll leave that be as it stands there. We'll give it about 20 to 30 more seconds because I did go live a little bit earlier than I said I would. So we'll give it just a few moments here, let everyone get in here, get settled in. I know a lot of schools are calling off, a lot of businesses, if you will, are calling off. Trish, thank you for your 100-star donation. We appreciate that, my friend. Thank you so much. Again, as you're coming into the broadcast, Cassie, or Casey, sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, with the 99 stars, thank you very much. Again, as you're coming in, let me know what you're seeing, where you're at. Radar is a great tool, but it's not going to be 100% perfect on a day like today where there's multiple preset types flying around there. So let me know what you're seeing, where you're at, so on and so forth. Still just raining in southern Pulaski County. Karen, thank you for the update there. Robbie, good morning to you on YouTube. Hello. It's snowing like crazy in Lebanon Junction, Kyla says. Thank you for that message there. 45 stars from Nathan. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Again, if you're just now hopping in the broadcast, you've not missed a thing. We're just giving everyone a moment to hop in here. I'm going to turn down my audio a little bit too. We're just giving everyone a moment to hop in here and get settled in. Jerry, thank you for your report out of Owensboro. It says it's snowing in Owensboro. Will this turn into rain around 10 a.m.? We'll get into that, Leah. Drove from Litchfield to E-Town at 5 this morning and was sliding all over the place. That's kind of the warning we were trying to give is despite the 45-degree ground temperatures, again, I can kind of show you that here soon, the snowfall's not really having too many issues sticking to the road, is it, guys? Again, the analogy we gave last night, when you throw a bunch of ice cubes into a room temperature cup of water, that ice is going to take a while to melt. Same thing with the snow on the roads. Even though the roads are warm, it's going to take a while to melt because the snow's coming down so heavy. And I think the heaviest is still to come. And I'll show you that here in just a moment. All right, let's go ahead and dive into the information. I want to thank everyone again for liking and sharing the broadcast on both YouTube and Facebook. Once again, that's the biggest way you can support us. We appreciate that. Thank you for helping us spread our information out. Let's go ahead and pull up our main screen here. So messy radar this morning. Very messy radar this morning. I want to give you guys a cheat code real quickly. By the way, if you have not already, download the WeatherWise app at weatherwise.app. Phenomenal radar to use. I want to give you guys a cheat code, though. If you go to your bottom, let me pull up the full display here. If you go to the bottom down here, the correlation coefficient, you can see where the theoretical rain, snow, or sleet line is. So I want to point it out here for you real quickly. So again, you can use this on almost any radar, but once again, WeatherWise is the best free radar to have. It's like really good. So I'm going to use a different color. So right now we know that this area right here is likely a sleet to rain to snow mix. Sleet or snow, probably the two common themes there. And the reason for that is we see the spikes here. You see these bright white bulbs. Even if you think you're seeing all snow outside, we can see it on radar here that this is some sleet mixing in here. Maybe a lot of sleet mixing in here. And then if we click on a different radar here, let me go ahead and grab off of the mouse or the drawing tool real quick. We'll see that bright spot over there, down there toward Cumberland, Hazard, Annville, London, Corbin as well. This is why we lowered your snowfall totals. If you missed our post at 11 p.m., don't worry, I'm going to show you. We did change the forecast a little bit because we finally picked this up. I should have picked that up sooner, to be honest with you. Kind of a rookie mistake. But we eventually caught it. and I'm going to show you our newest forecast that we put out back at like 11 p.m. or so. If you, in case you missed it, but that's kind of a cheat code, guys, on how to learn where that sleet and snow is, and then to the south of this brightness, if you will. So, for example, like Middlesboro, Jellicoe, Pineville, or just the east, like toward Pikeville, that would likely be all rain. So, once again, north of it's all snow, south of it's all rain. All right. Again, just a kind of a cheat code there. If this map gets a little messy, that's another little way you can look and see where those lines might potentially be. Really dark blues beginning to show up out in western Grayson County, southeastern Daviess County, north of Beaver Dam, south of Hardinsburg. Really deep blues beginning to show up. Campbellsville, Broadhead. Those are your heavier snowfalls. Once again, I think the heaviest is to come for a lot of folks. We mentioned that the heaviest time frame for snowfall would be 6 a.m. to about lunchtime. So once again, that's 6 a.m. to about lunchtime for some folks. Obviously, it'd be later in the window for places in northern Kentucky like Owenton, Cynthiana, Flemingsburg, Lexington. This is all moving southwest to northeast. So every window that I give you guys, southwest is going to be first, northeast is going to be last. So again, just keep that in mind. So that's the current radar look there. This red or pink that you're seeing is a signature of a mix occurring of some sort, whether it's rain, sleet, or snow, or a combination of the three, or what, some type of combination of those three. That's a mix occurring. Bowling Green, just really heavy, very cold rainfall. Just a very annoying morning for you guys. Matter of fact, temperatures right now, right around where we said they would be. Those right around the 32 to 34 degree marker. We do have some colder temperatures up here in northern Kentucky, like Owington and Owen County. Once again, you haven't really seen a whole lot just yet, so your temperatures are going to be a little bit colder. Obviously, you're a little bit more north too, so your temperatures are going to be a little bit chillier up there. But even down here along the Kentucky-Tennessee border, Bowling Green, 34 degrees. 33 degrees over here in Metcalfe County, 32 degrees here in Hardin County and Elizabethtown, 31 degrees in the more rural areas of Hardin County. 33 is a very common number. So basically between 30 to 34 degrees is the common temperature right now that a lot of folks are seeing throughout Kentucky. And so again, snowfall can occur all the way up to about 40 degrees, guys, at the ground. So even if this number says 39, you're probably, if you're north enough, seeing snowfall. So I want to show you, what else do I want to show you? Oh, yes, the model data. This is going to be a quick broadcast, by the way. Just to let you guys know. Again, here's the latest model data. Again, at a certain point, you kind of just throw the model data away and now what we do, what's called nowcasting. And that's what we've been doing basically since 1 a.m. We've just basically been nowcasting, which means we're taking all these maps that you see over here, all these crazy lines that you're seeing, and all these insane amounts of maps here. And we're taking all of those and we're kind of comparing them to what we've seen. We're running the numbers. We're doing all kinds of calculus and equations, all the boring stuff that you guys don't get to see on the screens. We're doing all that now. So, but I only kind of show you the model data just to kind of give you a look into what the future may look like lying ahead. At this point, we don't really use that. So, advance this forward. This is valid for 7 a.m. Eastern Time. You'll see it has that sleet line pretty much north of the parkways. When we look at the radar at this point, we know that that line is south of the parkways. So we already know the model data is off. So if you're asking me, George, is the model data reliable? No, it's not. It's not. It's already off. It has done well out here in Western Kentucky, but for the folks out here in Eastern Kentucky, the model data has done absolutely terrible. And we did pull our forecast to the south to reflect what we may think is going to occur. And if you look, it did come way south. Again, here's the model data for what should be happening right now. This is all rain in Somerset. Looking at the radar here, that's mostly snow in Somerset with a little bit of rain on the southern side of the county. Again, rain and sleet all the way up almost to Lexington. This shows snow all the way through Richmond, Berea. By the way, Richmond to Danville, already up to 3 inches of snowfall out there. Really glad we upped those snowfall totals. Going down here to Broadhead, Sand Gap, Beattyville, Jackson. Already some hefty totals through there, and back over toward Hardin County, approaching the 1 to 2 inch mark in Hardin County in some places already. Especially out in Nelson County to Springfield, where they've already seen reports of 2 inches come through. So really, folks are already seeing a healthy 1 to 2 inches on the ground. And you got to remember, some of that melted on the onset. So really, realistically, almost 3 to 4 inches of snow has already fallen. Again, some of that's melted on the surface at the beginning or has evaporated in the air. But realistically, already 3 to 4 inches is already fallen. Not necessarily accumulated, but fallen. It's two different terms. So advance this forward again. I kind of just want to throw this out, but I'm just giving you an idea of what the morning may look like. Again, it still has a heavier snowfall north of the parkways through about 10 to 11 a.m. Eastern time, and then eventually kicks its on out, and it's just kind of rain on the backside here. But again, I want to point out that this is not accurate. So again, just kind of giving this to you guys just so you have a visual to look at. But this is not accurate. I also want to point out that the model data has this ending, or has the backside of this already up toward the Indiana, Kentucky, Missouri borders. We'll see, clicking on the radars here, we still see that precipitation stretching all the way back into central Missouri. So this may be a longer duration event than what we originally forecasted. Once again, again, temperature profiles are everything, and we've tried to explain this over and over and over again until we're blue in the face. Temperature profiles are everything in a system like this. Not just the temperature that we see here at the ground, the temperature that's 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 feet above our heads. Those are everything. Right now, here on this crazy looking map is the 850, I believe I have it up, yes, the 850 millibar. Basically, that's several thousand feet above our heads, and this is going to tell us whether it's freezing or above freezing or below freezing up there. The red is above, the blue is below. You'll see that line is situated just along the parkways and points south. This is why if you're in Bowling Green or Paducah or Murray or Monticello or somewhere down there in Scottsville in southern Kentucky, you're seeing all rain because it is above freezing 5,000 feet up. Again, might be right at freezing or below freezing at the surface, but it's above freezing 5,000 feet up, so a snowflake has melted before it hit the ground. Whereas places like Elizabethtown, Owensboro, Henderson, Lexington, Somerset, Danville, Berea, Richmond, Pike, so on in Frankfort, so on in Louisville, so on and so forth, you are below freezing at the 850 millibar, which is 5,000 feet up. Again, so your snowflake is able to survive until the ground. That is the difference right now. And eventually, that warm air above our heads will scoot north over the next few hours. As I put it into motion here and just kind of show you, you can see 2 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours, so on and so forth. It eventually scoots to the north over the next 6 to 10 hours throughout the state. How fast exactly it moves north is going to be dependent upon when folks switch over to rain. We do know that for most folks, at least 90% of Kentucky, at some point late this morning to early afternoon, will switch over to an all rain type of thing. All right. Will the rain wash all the snow away? No, it will not. And we will still be at 33 to 34 degrees, maybe even below freezing for a lot of folks that sees snowfall today. What it will do, though, is think about it like this. If you go to a fair or if you're in your home and you have a slushie or a shaved ice, cup of shaved ice in your hand, right, and you go to put room temperature syrup in there, it doesn't necessarily melt that slushy right away, but it does compact the shaved ice that's in there. Same idea for out here, guys, today. The rain's not going to actually melt the snow, but it will compact it, and then eventually it will melt over time, but it's not going to melt it right away when we switch over to rain. It never happens unless the rain's suddenly 60 degrees. It's just not going to happen. But I don't expect the snow to stick around for too long. I do want to show you that the temperatures do eventually warm up. I want to show you, let's go ahead and advance this. This is the high, these are the highs today. See the high down there in Somerset, 47 degrees, Bowling Green, 42 degrees, Paducah, 37 degrees, E-Town at 33, Lexington, 33, Louisville, 34. Again, if you do have a little bit of a snowpack on the ground, 3 inches or more or so, these temperatures will be a little bit chillier than what's shown on the model data here. So keep that in mind. Those are basically the highs for today. And then they eventually cool down a little bit overnight. Not too much, but a warm front actually moves in by lunchtime on Wednesday. So for those of you that don't love snowfall and maybe just want to see this for a little bit and then let it be gone, that's going to be the case here. No matter how much snow you receive, let's say someone gets crazy out there and gets 9 inches of snowfall. I don't think it's going to occur. But let's say someone does. All right, it's going to melt regardless of how much snow you get by Wednesday evening dinner time, because we're going to soar all the way up into the 50s. And that actually brings a low-end severe threat just to Tennessee and just to our south for Thursday. So quite the 7 to 10 days ahead, not just for this event, but we have flooding threats to worry about down the road. We'll get to that after this event's over, but we have a lot to worry about there. So I do want to pull up our latest forecast in case you did miss this. We posted this back around, I think, 11 p.m. last night. Again, we reduced that Danville to Somerset area back down to 2 to 4 inches again to account for the sleet that we see mixing in now. We saw that back at about 11 p.m. last night. So we decided to make that change. And here at about the 7 a.m. hour, it looks like it was a good change to call for, because that sleet's mixing in, cutting into some of those totals down there. For Richmond and to points north, Lexington, to up toward Maysville, Mount Olivet, over into Pike County, over back toward E-Town, Litchfield, going back out there toward Ohio County. That is our highest zone, 3 to 6 inches of snowfall. Matter of fact, Richmond's already received 3 inches of snowfall, so we already got some verification of the forecast, and we're only at the 7 o'clock hour here. 2 to 4 inches in that blue zone there, basically Louisville, Owensboro, north of Bowling Green, Hart County, so on and so forth there. 2 to 4 inches in that zone. A 1 to 3 inch zone exists from Covington to Florence up toward Owenton County, going back down the southern sides of Somerset, maybe northern Warren County, but it looks like you already missed your chance on that. Paducah, looks like you may have already missed your chance on that. So that's that bottom blue line there. This bottom blue line probably could have just been left all white, but we needed to put that blue zone in there or that teal zone in there, if you will, just because the models all day yesterday were screaming south, 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 south. And eventually today, it did go south a little bit, but not quite as far south as the models indicated. So that's why we pulled some of those zones back just a smidge there. Key messages you can read on the left side, but it's the same thing I've been reiterating to you the whole broadcast and throughout the last 72 hours. Still, even at this time, some uncertainty exists on how far north that warm air above our heads is going to come and how fast it arrives. Nearly everyone will switch to rain before this ends. This may also throw off some measurements when you go out to measure. So when you go out to measure, and if rainfall's already started, it's going to compact that snowfall and throw off your measurement. Therefore, your measurement is invalid. So you got to be careful. You want to measure before the rainfall occurs. That's when you're going to get your truest snow accumulation. Snowflakes will be massive, but very wet, so the compacting of snow may take place. I do think the size of the snowflakes really go up once that sunrise begins to kick in here over the next 30 to 40 minutes. When we get a little bit of that sun to mix in there, I think those snowflakes are really going to get very big. Really phenomenal, really phenomenal. Snowman, snowball type of snowfall today. Really phenomenal type of sledding snowfall. Really tough snowfall to shovel. So if you know you're a little bit weaker or in one of those higher risk categories, I would not go out and shovel the snow today. If you got a little salt, just throw it down. The salt will work perfectly fine today. Again, the salt will work perfectly fine today. Let the salt do the work for you. Again, one of those very, very heavy snowfalls that you do not want to shovel. Also want to real quickly point out, if we can get some cameras to work here, if it's not too dark still. Yeah, you can kind of see it. This is E-Town along the Western Kentucky Parkway. The sides are already cut. It looks like a solid 2 to 3 inches maybe on the ground there. That's almost covering the entire grass. You can only see a little bit of it here. Roadways look just wet, but you can see some lumps or mounds, if you will, throughout the roads. That's probably snowfall, so maybe a bit slushy out there this morning. And if the parkways look like that, I bet you that your side roads are probably worse. So again, we have, for the last 24 hours, exaggerated. Do not travel this morning if you're in one of those zones that are getting the heavier snowfalls. Let's check out Frankfort real quickly and look at what's going on up there. Looks like we do have a little bit of a snowfall, slushy mix on the roads. Not too bad. Their snow event just started. So again, Frankfort's a little bit more to the north. Took them a little bit longer to get started up there, so the snowfall is a little bit lighter. I do see, I think, a salt truck right there, maybe a couple salt trucks. Good job by them. Let's check out here toward Paducah, where it's been mainly rainfall the entire time. I don't expect to see any snowfall on this camera. I don't really see any snowfall on this camera. Maybe a little bit of a dusting, if anything. Maybe more so sleet than anything. But looks like just wet roads there. Let's go ahead and check up here into Louisville, out of New Cut Road here. Do see a little bit of snow on the grassy areas there. Not really seeing any too major impacts on the roadways. They're just wet at the moment. More of their snowfall will kick in over the next hour and a half or so. I do want to check over here toward Madison County. This is where we've seen one of the heavier snowfall reports so far. And you bet you're looking up at the camera there, you do see some heavier snow on the sides there. I see some brake lights going up there. I see a lot of cars on this side. There must be a wreck or something. Stay off the roadways, folks. Just stay off. I'm just telling you. That snow, I know it's been warm lately. I know it was 70 degrees the other day, and we're all wondering, how in the world is this possible? I'm telling you guys, stay off the roads today if you can. It's one of those days where you just want to make a snowman, throw some snowballs around if you can, of course. I know some of you have to go to work. I know some of you have things to do. Again, just take it real slow. This could be a tricky one where it's fine for a couple miles, and all of a sudden you got a pile of slush out of nowhere. Could be a very, very tricky one. So just take it slow. Don't get too overconfident. You guys know how to do that stuff. Rockcastle County, this is another one where we've seen a couple of larger reports come out of this area. You'll betcha you see snow on the roadways there. A nice, hefty little bit of snowfall on the side. This is actually a beautiful picture. Get the mountains in the background there, or the hills in the background there. Got some rocky features over here. I miss a beautiful picture right here out of central and eastern Kentucky. And that's Rockcastle County. So you see for yourself, snow is on the ground. Snow is able to stick to the roads. I do want to check Hart County just for 1 second. Can't really tell by that camera. That is really not able to tell anything. This is southern Hart County. Not a whole lot happening there. So again, you kind of see for yourself on the cameras. This is a great site to go to, by the way, if you kind of just want to see a little bit for yourself. It's just the KYTC website there. It has the traffic cameras. And you can kind of see for yourself what's happening in your neck of the woods if the cameras are available there. So really, really cool stuff there. Thank you to KYTC for that website, because that's phenomenal stuff to use there. Before I get into some of your questions, I just want to say real quick thank you to Digital Solutions, Hyper Roofing, FBI Buildings, WeatherWise.app, and Right Implement. Again, they know this is an alert broadcast, so we don't actually roll any sponsors on here or any commercials, or if you will. But I do want to say a quick thank you, because their support is what allows me to be here for 24/7 for you guys. So if you ever have anything you may need for roofing-wise or building-wise, or going shopping, or getting your tech repaired, or needing a free radar, please consider using their services. Again, greatly appreciate those folks. Is the rainy area going to be getting rain all day? Yeah, so if you're already seeing rain now, once you get to the rain, you will stay rain. So that's a good question, Grim, on YouTube. Got a little bit over 2 inches in Lebanon, Kentucky, still coming out pretty good. Allison, thank you for the update there out of Lebanon. Good morning to you, Carrie. How are you? What's it look like at Beaver Dam? But hopefully you just caught all that entire spiel there. Again, Beaver Dam looks to be a little bit... Yeah, it looks like you're just on the line there, so you might be seeing a heavy snowfall right now. Carrie with the 99 stars, thank you for your donation. I appreciate that. Says thank you for all that you do for us, Elizabethtown here. We appreciate you. Thank you very much. I appreciate those stars, Carrie. Let me get my water real quickly. Lisa, are you seeing snow right now? If you're not seeing snow yet, you're not going to. That's a very easy way to understand what's happening today. If you the moment you switch over to rain, you're probably not. There's about a 97% chance that you're not going to switch back to snow. Yeah, it's been. I kind of want to check out my window real quick. If you guys give me a second. Oh man, it is just spitting snowfall here, Radcliffe. Yeah, Katrina, that's about where that line is. Again, going to be a tricky one. Going to be a real tricky one. When does the snow end for E-Town? Again, it's going to be somewhere around that lunchtime time frame, I think. And again, the timings can be off, guys. We'll keep you guys updated as that warm front moves further and further north. We'll keep you updated. But again, the latest guess is around lunchtime. Why did that just zoom in out of nowhere? I do want to take a look at your Eastern Kentucky. Don't want to forget about you folks. Just so you get a second to look at your radar here. Looks like the line there is around Somerset, London, Manchester, over to Jenkins. And it looks like the snowfall is occurring just to the north. So really very close to our forecast. I think we were a little bit too far south, maybe about 30 miles. But hey, for a forecast like this, I'll take that. I'll take that. Jessica, thank you. I appreciate that. Lisa, only rain, thank you. Yeah, so again, once you guys go to rain, unless you get some incredibly heavy rainfall to briefly switch you over to sleet or snow, the likelihood of you going back to snow is not very high. Really, Cody? Yeah, I'm not sure. I just click on the website and it's just there. I want to thank you guys again for all the likes and shares that you guys have been putting on the YouTube and Facebook broadcast. Not only this broadcast, but the last few broadcasts have been phenomenal. Thank you guys for your all support. Katrina says you do great work. We listen to you first. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I know this one's been tricky, and I know there's been some different outlets posting different things, different ideas. You guys know my advice. Even if it's not me that you trust, I mean, I hope it is, but even if it's not, pick 2 or 3 forecasters that you trust. Take a summary of their forecast and then roll with that. When you start trying to look around at your phone forecast, at your national weather, or not National Weather Service, but national media forecast like the Weather Channel, like AccuWeather, and then you try applying it to local forecasts, stuff can get real hairy. I would pick 2 or 3 local forecasters you like and stick with them. All right, I think that kind of does it for us here. Like I said, I didn't want this to be too long of a broadcast. I'm going to get back to some of the data here. I'm also going to crunch some breakfast in at some point, and then just kind of watch things as they unfold with you guys. If needed, we'll do another broadcast here down the road. I don't think we'll need one unless we just see some drastic changes. But until then, again, I'm George Herbig, Chief Forecaster here with Weather Now Kentucky. I want to thank you so much for tuning into our broadcast. Hope to see you again sometime soon. But until then, stay safe, Kentucky.